What's up, TPE Book Club? It's Alex Hill here, and we're back with another episode of the Book Club. The Book Club is designed and purposed to help connect leaders with great content that's written by authors that have dedicated their lives to helping leaders get better. On today's session, we're going to be continuing our study of Craig Groeschels' latest book, Think Ahead. Think Ahead is available in ebook or physical book form and on audiobook. You can check that out on Amazon, Audible, wherever you purchase your books. Personally, I use Google Books for my books, and so I have the digital copy of the book on my iPad, my iPhone, so I'm always tapped into being able to access this content. And on today's episode, we want to talk about I Will Be Consistent. Now, I'll be honest and transparent with you all. This is something that I've probably had struggled with over the last few years because as it relates to my working genius, I tend to like to invent. I like to tinker, and in that tinkering, sometimes can be a little sporadic. But I understand that there is some things that I do in my leadership, or at least I understood there's some things that in my leadership that I need to improve upon, and this is one of those areas. And I believe that I've been working diligently in my own leadership to be able to help myself become more consistent. And the things that I'm going to outline in today's session are the results of me being more consistent. I can tell you that a team that is led by an inconsistent leader tends to be not focused, not as productive as they could be. But if we all work towards becoming more consistent, we can deliver greater results in our organization. So I've got three points I want to canvas really quickly as it relates to I will be consistent. I will be consistent is one of those seven pre-decisions that Craig Groeschels talks about in the book that every leader should just pre-decide to be. And we've covered the majority of those pre-decisions already in the book club. And on today's session, we want to just go ahead and continue into the idea of I will be consistent. And so again, I've got 3 points. Point number one is building trust and credibility. You build trust and credibility through being consistent. The people who you serve on both sides of the counter, whether that's your customers or the people that you work with, they will trust you more the more consistent you become. And so the more they can expect consistent deliverables from you in your mood, attitude, your performance operationally, your performance from a decision-making standpoint, they will trust you more when they know that your decisions become more consistent and your actions become more consistent. You also build credibility when you're consistent as well. From your superiors to the people who are, that's the people who are above you, from the people who are quote unquote below you in terms of the people who you serve in your role, they will have more credibility towards your role and they have more respect towards what you do. Point number two, you enhance team performance and productivity when you're more consistent. When the team has a clear understanding of what the expectations are, and if they're motivated consistently, and if they are in a stable environment that is rooted in the foundation of consistency, they just perform better. I can tell you that this is a fact. When I come in with a level of intentionality on how I'm going to connect with the people that I'm serving, how I'm going to connect with the customers that we're dealing with, everybody else kind of follows suit because they understand that my expectations on a day-to-day basis are consistent, and they understand that, and they know what to follow. They don't have to try to figure me out. They don't have to try to figure out what I'm thinking. They understand that what my mission and goal is, and then if I portray that on a consistent basis, they can't help but to follow. And you want to give your team something to consistently follow, because that will give them the courage and the confidence to be able to execute at a level that they know is pleasing and they know aligns with what you want to get done. Last but certainly not least is when we're consistent, we foster a positive organizational culture. When we are consistent, we foster a positive organizational culture. A lot of times when you're in the restaurant setting, there tends to be different cultures depending on who's working, what time of day it is, and what season it is. Now, some of those things are valid in terms of the seasonal piece, but your culture should not be predicated on who's working or what time of day it is. And when you create a a culture of consistency in your leadership team, it cannot help but to spread throughout the entire organization and impact the entire business's culture. And culture really is the lifeblood of what we do, and really enables us to be able to generate the results that we're going for. If you have poor organizational culture, a lot of things can go wrong. People can be misaligned. People can be misinformed. People could carry issues along with them longer than they should, because the culture isn't in a place to where it needs to be. So when you develop consistent core values, and you consistently walk those things out, and you have consistent and clear expectations, and you hold everyone accountable to those things, and everyone in your culture is motivated in a consistent way where they feel valued for the work that they do each and every day, the culture is impacted when you take hold of the things that you deem most important, and you make sure that those things happen. You cannot run a great organization without great culture, and great culture starts with being consistent. And so you have to look at where are the inconsistencies that exist within yourself, where are the inconsistencies that exist within your organization, and you have to start at understanding where you are, and then formulating a plan to address those areas where you see the inconsistencies. No organization is perfect. No organization has it all figured out. However, if you are diligent and you are persistent in making sure that, hey, I want to pre-decide each and every day that we're going to be consistent in areas A, B, C, and D, and then you communicate those things to the people that you're working with, and they have an understanding of what the expectation is, and then you hold them accountable to that, then you can see from where your culture currently is, and you can see it start to rise to where you want it to be. And so that's all I wanted to talk about in today's session of the book club, is the power of consistency. I think Craig Groeschels does a great job of outlining what consistency looks like, and some examples of what consistency can be and what it can do for yourself and for your organization. I just wanted to correlate these things in a way that you can tie them to your organization. And so I'm going to go over those 3 points really quickly in terms of the power of consistency and some of the benefits that you can see from it. Number one, again, when you're consistent, you build trust and credibility. People are more bought into you and what you're trying to get accomplished and your company's mission, and they'll lean more into what the vision is for your organization. Number two, it enhances team performance and productivity. When you're consistent, your team will be more consistent, and the performance that you want to see and the production that you want to see from your team will increase. And then number three, you foster a positive organizational culture when you're consistent, making sure that whatever your company's core values are, whatever your company's the things that they want to achieve and accomplish, and you're modeling those things, and the leaders around you are modeling those things, then at that point you have a great catalyst for continuing to develop and build a positive work culture. So hopefully these three things in terms of the power of consistency will help you build and grow a greater organization, and you will be able to see the results from those things that you created, or you'll see the results from being consistent in your organization as you continue to grow and to build the things that you're doing. Thank you guys so much for tuning in into today's book club session. Again, we are releasing these episodes every week, so you guys have an opportunity to continue to learn and to grow with us. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and until next time, guys, peace.
Have you heard TPE now has launched our Coaching Connect sessions? If you're interested in growing more in your leadership development, whether that's inside the restaurant or any quick service restaurant, go to tpenow.com to book your discovery call. It's a free 30-minute call. You can connect with us today.